SSLC. Subject Science Chapter Metals and Non-Metals. 1. Which physical properties are used in the following situations? I. Gold is used to make ornaments. Shining surface, metallic luster. Ductility. Malleability. E. Nickel is used in strings of guitar. Sonorous. Ductility. Join the WhatsApp group https://chat.whatsapp.com/bestiefcon5ft8xtvrgh7. 2. Give reason. I. Metals are used in making cooking vessels. Because metals are good conductors of heat, having high melting points, property of malleability. E. Sodium metal is stored in kerosene. Sodium metal vigorously reacts with atmospheric oxygen and water, but not with kerosene. 3. You are given a hammer, a battery, a bulb, wires and a switch. How could you use them to distinguish between samples of metals and non-metals? Assess the usefulness of these tests in distinguishing between metals and non-metals. With the hammer, we can beat the sample, and if it can be beaten into thin sheets, that is, it is malleable, then it is a metal, otherwise a non-metal. Similarly, we can use the battery, bulb. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 1. Falcon Learning Point wires, and a switch to set up a circuit with the sample. If the sample conducts electricity, then it is a metal, otherwise a non-metal. The above tests are useful in distinguishing between metals and non-metals, as these are based on the physical properties. No chemical reactions are involved in these tests. 4. Explain the meanings of malleable and ductile. Malleable, substances that can be converted into thin sheets by beating are called malleable. Most of the metals are malleable. Gold and silver are most malleable metals. Ductile, substances that can be drawn into thin wires are called ductile. Most of the metals are ductile. Gold is the most ductile metal. 5. Draw the diagram of arrangement of the apparatus used to show the action of steam on metal. Label its parts. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 2. Falcon Learning Point. 6. Differentiate between metal and non-metal on the basis of their chemical properties. 7. What are amphoteric oxides? Metallic oxides that show both acidic and basic behavior are called amphoteric oxides. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 3. Falcon Learning Point 8. When a calcium metal reacts with water, the liberated hydrogen gas does not catch fire. The reaction of calcium with water is less violent. The heat evolved is not sufficient for the hydrogen to catch fire. 9. Give reasons why copper is used to make hot water tanks and not steel, an alloy of iron. Copper does not react with cold water, hot water, or steam. However, iron reacts with steam. If the hot water tanks are made of steel, an alloy of iron, then iron would react vigorously with the steam formed from hot water. That is why copper is used to make hot water tanks, and not steel. 10. Hydrogen gas is not liberated when a metal like zinc reacts with nitric acid. Why? Nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the hydrogen produced to water and itself gets reduced to oxides of nitrogen. 11. Name 2 metals which will displace hydrogen from dilute acids, and 2 metals which will not. Metals that are more reactive than hydrogen displace it from dilute acids. For example, sodium and potassium. Metals that are less reactive than hydrogen do not displace it. For example, copper and silver. 12. Write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction taking place when aluminium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. 2Al plus 6 HeCl, right pointing arrow to AlCl3 plus 3H2. 13. What is a reactivity series? Reactivity series is a list of metals arranged in decreasing order of their reactivity. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 4. Falcon Learning Point 14. Depict the formation of magnesium chloride with the help of electron dot structure. 15. Depict the formation of sodium chloride with the help of electron dot structure. 16. What are ionic compounds? Give one example. The compound formed by the transfer of electrons from a metal to a non-metal are called as ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds. X Nickel and MgCl2. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 5. Falcon Learning Point 17. List any 4 general properties of ionic compounds. Properties of ionic compounds. Generally solids. Generally brittle and breaks into pieces when pressure is applied. They have high melting and boiling points. Soluble in water and not soluble in organic solvents. They do not conduct electricity as solid state, good conductors in molten or aqueous state. 18. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. Why? Because a considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong inter-ionic attraction. 19. How are metals in the middle of the reactivity series extracted from their ores? Explain. Metals in the middle of the activity series are in the form of sulfide or carbonate ores. The sulfide ores are converted into oxides by roasting. Roasting is heating the ores strongly in the presence of excess air. The carbonate ores are converted into oxides by heating strongly in limited air in calcination. The metal oxides are then reduced to the corresponding metals by using reducing agents such as carbon. 20. Define the following terms. I. Mineral. E. Ore. E. Gangue. Mineral. The elements or compounds, which occur naturally in the Earth's crust, are known as minerals. E. Ore. If minerals contain a very high percentage of a particular metal and the metal can be profitably extracted from it, these minerals are called ores. E. Gangue. Ores mined from the earth are usually contaminated with large amounts of impurities such as soil, sand, etc., called gangue. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 6. Falcon Learning Point 21. Mention the difference between calcination and roasting. How these processes are used in the extraction of zinc. Explain with the help of chemical equations. After these processes is reduction necessary to obtain zinc. Why? Carbonate ores are converted into oxides by heating strongly in limited air. This process is known as calcination. Sulfide ores are converted into oxides by heating strongly in the presence of excess of air. This process is known as roasting. When Zinco-3 undergoes calcination, Zeno is formed. Zinco-3 S right pointing arrow Zeno S plus CO2 G. When zinc undergoes roasting, Zeno is formed. 2 zincs S plus 3O2 G, right pointing arrow heat 2 Zeno S plus 2 SO2 G. After these processes, reduction is necessary, because zinc oxide is then reduced to zinc using suitable reducing agent. 22. What is a thermit reaction? Write one use of it. The process of igniting aluminium in ferric oxide is called thermit reaction. This is an exothermic reaction. It is used to join railway tracks or crack machine parts. 23. In the electrolytic refining of a metal M, what would you take as the anode, the cathode and the electrolyte? In the electrolytic refining of a metal M, anode right pointing arrow pure metal M. Cathode right pointing arrow thin strip of pure metal M. Electrolyte right pointing arrow solution of salt of the metal M. Sajid Ali 9,972,841,416 page 7. Falcon Learning Point 24. What are alloys? An alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, or a metal and a non-metal. For example, stainless steel is an alloy of nickel and chromium. Amalgam is an alloy of mercury. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. Solder is an alloy of lead and tin. 25. Which metals do not corrode easily? The metals which are the least reactive do not corrode easily. For example, gold, silver, platinum and copper. 26. State 2 ways to prevent the rusting of iron. 2 ways to prevent the rusting of iron are oiling, greasing, or painting. By applying oil, grease, or paint, the surface becomes waterproof and the moisture and oxygen present in the air cannot come into direct contact with iron. Hence, rusting is prevented. Galvanization. An iron article is coated with a layer of zinc metal, which prevents the iron to come in contact with oxygen and moisture. Hence, rusting is prevented. Sargent